Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti. I am a spiritual teacher. You can find my information in the description box below. This is an energy update for the week beginning April 25th through April 26th, which is Sunday, 2020. More and more people are starting to ask questions as we're seeing all of the incongruency in the news and everybody kind of making their own decisions when it comes to the pandemic and when to open businesses. People just want to know the truth. People want to know what's going on because so many of us are struggling right now, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally. I mean, for a lot of people that are not awakened, this was just a huge kind of having the rug pulled out from them moment. One thing that I was led to research was the Schumann Resonance again. And I often forget about this frequency that the planet is wanting to resonate at, the 7.83. And we've been having these spikes over the past couple of days. And that would explain my insomnia and a lot of the insomnia going on. The numbers have been very high, the power numbers. I mean, some days it's gotten up to 60 and even 120. So we're definitely seeing an increase in ascension symptoms in general. When I asked my spirit team about this Schumann resonance and why these spikes happen, first of all, and why we tend to have an increase in ascension symptoms, what I was told, and I also got confirmation of this by listening to some other energy readers that I trust. What I was told is that when these spikes occur, there is an influx of light beings, higher vibrational frequency beings here helping us with this energetic cleanup and reset. Remember that the manipulation, the darkness, the lie, the deception goes deep. It's been going on for millennia. So some of these energies are very old, very archaic. And I feel like as we are moving a lot more quickly through this ascension timeline, that we're going to need that extra assistance because these energies are heavy, they're dense. And yes, we do a lot of work on ourselves. We do a lot of work on the energies in our immediate environment as light workers, as way showers. That's a part of our purpose, is to raise the frequency of where we are based on our energetic signature. But again, we're empathic as well. So because of our humanness, we often slip back and forth, and what I call the vacillation. I talked about this on a Self-Love Sunday podcast where we go back and forth. And, you know, that happens usually because we are getting ready to raise in frequency, but it happens too when we are on a practical level trying to establish new habits. We go back and forth between our old belief system and our new belief system until we can kind of find that middle road, that middle path in our mind, which says that I learned the lessons from the past experience, but now I can move forward into this new experience with that grace, with that understanding, so that I can continue to evolve and progress as a human being, as a spiritual being, with a purpose, with a mission. I'm also finding that the twin flame energy is being stirred up again. I just feel the push-pull and the telepathy is very strong right now. Remember that twins have a purpose individually, and they have a purpose that they're supposed to fulfill together. And a lot of that is connected to just bringing in that higher template of love. We're also seeing the great divide, where on a practical level, people are really taking advantage of this time to heal, to reconnect to their family and loved ones, the family that's in their immediate environment. Maybe they've gotten so accustomed to a particular routine and not having the time to really pay attention to, like, your children, for example. For some people, this could work in the opposite, where now they're stuck with people and they're starting to see that this is no longer a supportive situation for them, and maybe hasn't been for a long time, but because we are quote unquote being quarantined, we are really starting to see these issues, these emotional drainage points is what I call them, in our relationships, in our connections. So it just really depends on who you are and where you are in regards to self-acceptance and the healing journey itself. Because there are people also trying to dig in their heels and resist change. And with Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus, change is inevitable. Big, major, drastic change that will be shocking at first. And then as we progress and begin to learn more and more, we start to become more resourceful. That's Taurus. We start to focus on innovation. That's Uranus. We'll start to see solutions emerge. But it requires us to release resistance, to go with the flow, and to recognize truth and to claim our own sovereignty. This is, I feel, a way for us to set an example for the collective as way showers, as light workers, is to stand in our truth and to not be in that energy of recruiting. When people want to know what they need to know, they will come to you in some way, shape, or form. It's not necessary for us to become self-righteous, to get into that I told you so energy. I told you this was going to happen. That's not helpful for anyone. People are freaking out, and they really want to be able to turn to people and support. Now, we mind our own energies, of course, right? We avoid energy vampires, time wasters, people that are just trying to challenge us. You know, there's people that really genuinely want help and guidance and really want to understand. And then there's those people that only want to challenge us and want to just give us a hard time, want to get in our energy and throw us off. So be mindful of that, practicing discernment. Everyone is feeling this timeline shift. Not everybody will have the words, the spiritual vocabulary to describe what they're experiencing, but they know that something is happening. They know, everybody knows. And we can stay focused and positive. That's great. But we also need to understand that life will never be the same again. We are in a new energy. We're at the beginning stages of the 5D build out. So it's time for us to really embrace this uncertainty, to go with the flow and seek daily guidance from our spirit team. Let's move on to the astrology. April 25th through April 26th, Pluto is stationing retrograde in Capricorn until October. And I talked about this in my last video. This transit is what I call the darkest dark side transit. Really going within for deep transformation, purging as the quote unquote world is falling, if you will. Remember that Pluto rules the underworld. Pluto rules death and transformation, secrets. Pluto will ultimately transform us, but not without some upheaval. When Pluto is retrograding into Capricorn, he's going to square Mercury on the way. So this is major triggers and changes. We need to understand, I'll say it again, that life will never be the same. This transit indicates that the powers that be will be trying to impose more restrictions on and off, as well as pushing certain plans and agendas. And this is going to be over the next couple of years as we see more and more developments as a result of this pandemic in the financial arena and in the political arenas. And we're going to just see where things really have to shift. These old archaic systems are no longer able to stand in this energy. Now, I believe that we will go back to work, we will go back to school, but things are going to be different. I think social distancing is going to be almost like an underlying way of life until we can get a hold and understanding of what I like what Pretty Boss called this the beer bug, right? But now they see the quote unquote powers that be, just how we will react and respond when we are given certain instructions. So you take that for what you will. I also feel like this transit is going to be huge for disclosure and no longer unconsciously consenting to the control for the purposes of harvesting our energy, trying to delay this inevitable shift. Funny, we watch these movies about an alien invasion and how they're evil. The invasion has already happened. There really wasn't an invasion. They've been here since the beginning of time. If anybody invaded, it was us. But the aliens, the ETs, they've been here even before we were. So there's lots of information out there about that. I won't go into detail in this video. On April 27th, Mercury, the messenger, moves into Taurus. Remember that Taurus rules the throat chakra. So Mercury is asking us, what's it going to be? What are you willing to do? This is energy that will help us to stick to projects and making our dreams a reality. Communicate your need for pleasure as well. Joining up with the Sun and Uranus, change is necessary and inevitable. More confirmation that things will never be the same. This transit is also making a square to Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn in Aquarius. So people are starting to get restless. And we can also see people getting lazy on their personal hygiene, maybe falling back into bad habits like not washing your hands for 30 seconds or not at all, opening up too much too soon, right? Too many restaurants opening up, the gyms opening up. We just don't have enough information yet. So continue to wash your hands, continue to wear your face mask, continue to keep yourself healthy. So with this transit too, it's very important that you're getting your information from reliable sources. Unfortunately, during these times, predator energy comes out, opportunistic energy comes out. Remember that true predators actually prey on the weaker animals. So now that a lot of people are going through financial struggles and relationship struggles, it's making people weak. And this is, calling out that energy of, victimization. Be mindful of manipulative, gaslighting characters. Let's move on to the Oracle card, and I was guided to the Oracle of the Fairies, and nature signs came out. This is about us getting out in nature. There really isn't anything else to do right now or anywhere else to go besides to get food. That's also a Taurus thing, right? Good food. Mother Nature really wants to talk to you. She wants to talk to us, especially when the sun is in Taurus, which rules Gaia. This card reminds me of that old 90s song by Wilson Phillips, Hold On for One More Day. You know how they're out and they're singing in nature and they're in all these different nature scenes. That's what I really feel from this card. Like Gaia's telling us just to hold on. Things will go our way. Things are going to change. That if you listen to that song, it talks about the inevitability of transition and how it's not always easy. And asking yourself, are you comfortable staying in that pain? We've got no one to blame for our unhappiness, right? You got yourself into your own mess. I think I'm gonna link the video, but it's so fitting for this card. Meditating or walking near nature is going to be very good for your emotional clearing and release. Trust your angels and yourself and know that you're receiving guidance. It's interesting because there's a couple of animals in this card, right? The badgers are here to help with keeping your environment clean and tidy because a lot of us are at home. So make sure that you're not hanging out in mess, right? Because that really does lower your vibration. Badgers are also not afraid to be assertive when necessary. And then the blue butterflies in this card represent change and transition, right? The color blue. The throat chakra is associated with change. So butterflies too, associated with transition and death and rebirth. So spirit is supporting us, even though we might be going through some dark nights of the soul, some, healing crises. We're ultimately able to go out into nature, and Gaia's going to help us to heal. Hug a tree, sit in the grass, go by the water and pray and meditate. Let's move on to the crystal, and blue kyanite is what's showing up. This is a very high vibrational crystal, great for opening the third eye and throat chakra. This is also a good crystal for helping you to develop your spiritual gifts. When you use it over time during meditation, it will help you to develop your specific spiritual gift. I feel like we all have clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, etc. But we have one that is dominant, and this will help you to develop that. It's said that blue kyanite does not accumulate negative energy, but it does need a physical cleaning every now and then, like it gets dusty. But I always sage all of my crystals. It doesn't hurt. This is also great for aligning all of your chakras, boosting communication and self-expression. As I mentioned earlier, Taurus rules the throat chakra. Kyanite is also highly protective, psychically protective. It will help you with dream recall and aids in the healing of broken bones. Let's move on to the spirit animal, and the octopus showed up. The octopus shows up and tells us to keep doing whatever we are doing behind the scenes for self-improvement. The octopus also shows up to help us with multitasking, which a lot of us are having to do right now. And suddenly, right, all of a sudden we have to homeschool and work from home and figure out how we're going to feed our families and where the next, couple of dollars are coming from, and etc. That's a lot of multitasking. The octopus is also here to help you to protect your dream. Not everybody needs to know what you're up to. If you're working on some self-improvement activities, self-love work, keep that to yourself, right? Let people ask you what you're doing. Let people see your results. You can accomplish far more than people expect if you are able to conserve your energy and expend it only when necessary. The octopus is here to help you be strategic with people and situations. So staying flexible and agile during this unpredictable time is going to be very, very helpful. So call on the octopus spirit to help you to navigate through these very strange and interesting energies. Let's move on to the angel number, and number 18 showed up. This is a message of encouragement from your angels, and they're asking us to really keep our thoughts focused on abundance and on the things we want to manifest, because things are manifesting very quickly. When we have Uranus and Taurus, this is rapid manifestation, sudden manifestation. So keep your thoughts positive and know that things are working out for you. Angel number 18 is also about the endings of cycles and phases in your life. Remember, that is life. Everything is cyclical. Things start, things end. So don't stress about your present circumstances, because better is on the way. So have faith and trust in yourself and in your angels. Angel number 18 could also be a message for you to pursue a spiritually based business, or to really focus on your spiritual practices. So listen to your guidance and trust the angels to help you with the next steps. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you would like to book a reading, you can visit my website at onebodywellnesssp.com. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.